Front Seat Live podcast happily presents my Year of Healing the Hustle podcast, where I, Jessica Butts, psychotherapist, 2.5-time author, corporate trainer, and Myers-Briggs expert, share my raw, vulnerable, honest, and in the moment experiences of my journey to heal the hustle. I recently put my money where my mouth was, and I sold everything I owned and moved to Maui with 5 suitcases to explore this healing island. What has come up is a mountain of real life healing the hustle experiences I hope you can see yourself in, so you can also heal your hustle while still being unapologetically who you are. Let's get started. Welcome back. Welcome back. I guess maybe I should be welcoming myself back, but I'd like to say welcome back to you. Welcome back to me. For those loyal, amazing, wonderful listeners that I dropped you back in October. I was in the middle of a series and I was having what this episode is about. I was having an entrepreneurial trauma response and I ran away. I just straight up ran away. I dropped everything. I couldn't do it. And we'll spend way more time at the end or middle or somewhere talking about that, but not right this second. And so I want to say welcome back. Welcome back. I apologize. Maybe I don't apologize. I probably don't apologize because a man wouldn't apologize for that. And so I'm not going to apologize for that. I'm going to get into why I stopped, why I haven't put out a single piece of content in 7 months, actually almost 8 months. So it was middle of October. And it's because I'm having a trauma response. I am having a reptilian brain response. And I'm going to tell you all the reasons why I've been hiding, why my personality type factors into that, why your personality type factors into that, why I've been hiding, and why I'm coming back. So that is what this first episode is going to be about, is the entrepreneurial trauma response, my personal entrepreneurial trauma response, in hopes that you learn something about yourself. So this series about my year of healing the hustle is going to be real raw, friends. Real raw. I guess I could start. First of all, let me welcome all the new listeners too. Welcome new listeners. I'm doing a huge podcast series on guest podcasting on a bunch of other people's podcasts. I'm obviously starting mine up again. So there's going to be my wonderful, loyal, long-term listeners. Thank you so much and welcome back. I love you guys so much. And to new people, welcome. You're either going to love me or hate me. That's the experience I have. If it's love, thank you so much. I'm happy you're here. Send me a message. Let's be friends. If you hate me, I ask that you just move on because, no one's got time for that shit these days. So I am in, wow, there's so much to say. I realized the other day, I live in Maui now. I cannot finish my book, Healing the Hustle. It's about 70% done. And I can't finish it because I'm having a Carrie Bradshaw moment of, I'm in middle of the story. I'm in middle of my story. I can't finish it because the story is not over. I am literally in middle of this chapter in my life of healing the hustle. So I came up with Healing the Hustle in March of 2021. It is now May of 2022, a time of recording. And I, since then, have done a lot of shit. I've done a lot of shit to heal my hustle. That being, I sold my 3-bedroom house. I gave away, and didn't sell, just straight up gave away about 70% of my belongings. I just went crazy. I just went nuts. I was sitting in my house 1 year into COVID. And I was experiencing now what I know to be what I'm going to be talking about, which is this entrepreneurial trauma response. I had been going, launching, throwing spaghetti at a wall, putting new programs out there, doing podcasts. Maybe this will work. Maybe this will work. Maybe this will work. Ending programs, starting new programs, doing what every entrepreneur was doing during that time, which is, what the fuck are we going to do? Just like a lot of people in 9-to-5 jobs, right? But I'm not a 9-to-5er, so I can't really speak to that. You had your own trauma. This is our trauma, my trauma, entrepreneurial trauma. It was overwhelming. And I have said to many people during that time that if I have to ask somebody for money one more time during this pandemic, I can't do it anymore. I'm just going to quit. I can't do it. So I was looking around my house at all the stuff that I had bought to fill. I lived in a 3-bedroom house with a garage as one single person. I don't even have any pets. And the entire house was filled with stuff. My garage was overflowing with stuff. My 3rd bedroom was a closet. That's how many clothes I had. And then I also had an office and I worked out of my home. But this whole house was filled with stuff. And I was sitting on my couch one day, right after Healing the Hustle idea came to me in March of 2021. And I just had a feeling of, I need to be nimble. My intuition always speaks to me, and it was, I got to get out of here. I need to be nimble. I can't be nimble with all this shit. I have way too much stuff. It's holding me back. My core values, which we'll talk about much later in this series that I'm doing of the podcast, and it's also will be in the book. My core values are very, very, very important to me, as they should be to you. And my number one core value has always been freedom. And I'm looking around my house. I'm like, this is not freedom. This is actually why I don't have a pet, because I can't be free. I can't pick up and do whatever the fuck I want whenever I want, because I don't want a pet. And again, this is just my experience. It's not yours. So, take what you need and leave the rest. And so again, looking around my house, I got to get rid of all this stuff. I went nuts. I don't know what got into me. But I proceeded to get on Kirkland Kenmore when I lived in Washington, a Buy Nothing group. And for about 10 days, I purged 70% of the things that I owned. I just gave shit away. I just gave it away. I didn't sell anything. I was fucking over it. I just wanted to get rid of stuff. And I'm looking at all the things I'm giving away and throwing away and whatever. And I thought, how much money did I spend on all this? What could I have done with this? During the time the stock market's going down, my portfolio is shrinking. I'm freaking out. And I'm like, if I could have invested this or done an experience or whatever, right? It's this stuff. It was just fucking overwhelming to me, this realization. So I then, very soon after this purging, was like, it's not just the stuff, but it's this house. And I love that damn house. I bought that house at the height of my successfulness. I was bringing in well over $500,000 a year, was doing all the things, had this huge team, was spending tons of money. I mean, it was a train that anyway, that's a side note. That was an entrepreneurial thing that I was just going crazy with. But the bigger point is, I bought that house to prove to myself that I could post my divorce. And I'm very proud of it. I'm still proud that I was able to do that. And it no longer served me. I am not a forever person. I actually just don't really believe in that. I end relationships if they're no longer serving me. I probably will never get married again. I don't believe in houses are forever. I don't believe in locations are forever. I am someone, as most of my listeners are, somebody who changes and grows and morphs and moves around and looks for new experiences all the time. And I will say, I think I'm an extreme example of this, partially because of some of my life choices, meaning I'm not married and I don't have any kids and I don't have any pets. So I have made choices that allow this flexibility and this freedom. So with that being said, I then decided to sell my house. I didn't ask a single soul. I was in a relationship at the time. I didn't ask his opinion. My sister is my best friend and somebody I respect her opinion very much. I didn't ask her. My mom used to be in this industry and knows a lot. Didn't ask her. I wanted to tap into my intuition to make a decision for my life at the moment that I knew there was no outside influence. There was no outside influence. No, this is a terrible decision. The market's going to change. But I am a grown ass woman and I needed to not have any input and tap into my intuition and make a decision for myself. So I did. And I put my house on the market within like a week. Came to Maui on a trip, sold my house, and then came back and proceeded to purge and get rid of everything else. Moved into a 1-bedroom apartment for, now about 10 months. And then got the next download, which was, it is time to fulfill a lifelong dream and move to Maui. And that came with a lot of difficulty. I had to end a relationship to do that. I had family members that were not they were not thrilled just because they were sad. They were just sad. And that then led into getting rid of everything I own. And you hear people say that, but there's a lot of emotional baggage in the stuff that we buy, the amount of money we spend on stuff, and to purge all of it, to go do something that my gut, my heart, my intuition was telling me I needed to do was a really, really personal and profound experience. And there's a saying that depression is living in the past and anxiety is living in the future, and hence why we're supposed to be living in the moment. And there are moments where I really freak out a little bit about, I don't have any dishes. I don't own a can opener. I don't own a hammer. I don't own Tupperware. Like, I'm in a beautiful place in Maui now that, thank God, came fully furnished. And I don't own a vacuum cleaner. Like, there's stuff each day that I use and I'm like, oh, I don't own a dustpan. I don't own a garbage can right now. Like, that shit is mind blowing. It's just weird. It's just a weird experience. So I tell you all of this to get you to, I was going through some shit. I was going through an entrepreneurial trauma response. I now see that for what it is, kind of 8 months after the fact, or 2 years, quite honestly, 2 years after the fact of spending 1 year of fighting. I'm going to do this. I'm going to build a new fucking course and I'm going to do a new thing and I'm going to launch and this time it will be different, and it not being any fucking different. Everyone was just overwhelmed. No one could hear anything. To doing this, selling everything I owned, selling my house, moving across an ocean, and now been here a little over 2 months and feeling all the fucking feels that this island has to give. That's a completely separate episode, by the way. So let's also go back a little bit. There's some background. And now let's talk a bit about why I've been hiding. Why you may have been hiding for the last however long, 2 years, for me, 8 months. So I was in that pattern of, I'm going to try everything. I'm going to try this new series on the podcast and see if that helps. And I just fucking gave up, if I'm going to be honest. My lovely podcast producer, James, was like, honey, he doesn't call me honey, so I'll just be honest about that. He said, Jessica, you just kind of dropped your audience. And I was like, yeah, I did. And mama can't do it. I just can't do it. I can't fucking do it. I need a break. I couldn't do it. I had done all the things. I was completely exhausted, and I dropped it. And you know what? I'm not going to apologize about that, because I needed to do that. I needed to go into hiding the last 8 months. So here's another reason why I did this. And I'm going to get real fired up about this. It's about this, what I'm calling the toxic coaching culture. And there's two aspects to it. Number one is the fake. Oh God, I just can't. I swear through the whole thing, but if you've got any littles listening, absolutely do not have them be listening. It is fucking toxic. It is absolute fucking bullshit. And you know what's fascinating too? As a therapist, like, I actually know a lot of what bullshit it is, because some of them are my clients, and I hear them saying, oh my God, I'm broke, or oh my God, I've been doing all the things. And I watched this start to happen. And I was a coach at the time. I had kind of retired my therapy license, and I was 100% a coach. I was speaking and training and running coaching programs. And I wanted nothing to do with this industry. I was fucking embarrassed. I am embarrassed. I unfollowed or blocked or just cut that shit out of my life, because it was so fucking toxic. And you may need to do the same. You know, you can just unfollow people, right? If you're getting triggered or you find it disgusting, just unfollow it. I could not handle it. I still can't. People are lying to you. People are lying to you that you can just start a business and get a bunch of get on social media and share whatever. It's not true anymore. When I started as a coach, the coaching industry was completely different. And now it is this disgusting culture of, look at me, look how fucking successful I am, and look at me in my bikini, and look at how perfect my life is, and I'm fucking flying on private jets or whatever. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, and it's deceiving, because the reality is very, very, very few of those people are actually that successful. And then they are feeding you a lie. They are saying you can have the same. And I'm going to keep it really fucking real with you. I don't believe that that's true. I don't believe it. I don't believe that everybody can have that thing, because it costs a fuck ton of money to do that. You have to have a very specific point of view. You got to be willing to go for it. You got to be willing to be sassy. You got to be willing to be vulnerable. And not everybody can do it. God, that is so controversial, because I think there's a lot of coaches that are like, anybody can do it. You can't. You just can't. You can't. You gotta have a thing that helps you stand out. And I'm going to be honest, not everybody has that. Not everybody has it. So there's that part of it. And then the second part of it is, we now live in a world where anybody can say that they're an expert in something. And it is the most destructive, unethical, dangerous behavior I've ever seen. I love me some TikTok. I watch it. I love it. And I often am like, who the fuck are these people? Like, are people listening to these people? I'm going to be honest, just because you've been divorced 3 times does not mean you are a relationship expert. In fact, on the contrary. So there are just people out there that think that because you have gone through an experience, that makes you able to coach on it. And that is fucking terrifying. And it is the world that we live in. So back to my point is that that's what I ran away from. I ran away from it. I wanted no part of it. And I have a master's degree in psychology. I'm a psychotherapist. And so I went back to that. I just said, I don't want any part of this. I don't want to be a coach. I don't want to be part of this. I have this fabulous thing that I can fall back on. So that's what I did. I just straight up said, I'm not doing this anymore. I opened up a ton of spots for private sessions and I was filled within a very short period of time, like 2 or 3 weeks. And while I love this work, I'm going to be very honest with you, and some of my clients are probably listening to this, and that's okay. I have been hiding. I have been hiding behind that. I don't have to do anything except show up and be awesome with them. I'll be honest, it's easy for me. It's like one of my gifts. It's not my zone of genius, but it's definitely my zone of excellence. I'm really, really, really good at it. I'm an excellent therapist. And it allowed me to hide. It allows me a great job, if you will. But I was talking to a friend of mine. I had a breakdown. I've had probably 4 really big breakdowns in my life. And then there's always the breakthrough after the breakdown. And this past week was the fourth breakdown. And I was talking to one of my best friends. I was sitting in my bedroom looking at my workspace in my Maui home. And I looked at my computer and realized I am hiding behind this computer. I haven't put out any content. I haven't shared my point of view. I'm slowly but surely writing this book, but I'm not putting any of that content out into the world. And so I'm hiding behind this computer, which I'm doing right now, but I'm also being creative. So that has been part of my hiding. It's been easy to be with clients. It's been easy to make a great living. It's been easy to meet them where they're at. And part of my breakdown and going away for 4 days, I have a whole nother podcast episode on that coming up in 2 weeks, is taking a solo trip and not having any input for 4 days, only output. And I did a Qigong class while I was at this retreat. And one of the realizations, which has also been percolating, I've got a friend in my life who's, into podcasts and helping people them produce them. And he really pushed me along. And I met with a friend here on island and she just said, girl, we miss you. Oh God, that was such a powerful moment when she said that to me. Thank you, Nadia. She just said, we miss you. We miss your voice. And during this Qigong class, I realized part of my unease, I haven't been sleeping well. I've just been a little uncomfortable. There's been no creative outlet for me. I haven't been creating anything. If I'm being honest, I'm not writing a lot because I'm stuck. I'm Carrie Bradshaw right now. The ending is not clear. And I miss having a creative outlet. This is mine. Some people write, some people do art, some people do Qigong, some people jump out of airplanes. I talk. This is what I do. I talk, I write books, I share, I coach, I have a point of view. I believe this is why God put me on this earth. I don't have any babies. I've always felt this way, that this is what I was supposed to be doing in this world. So yours can look however it is, whatever it is. This is my creative outlet, and I have not been getting it out of my body, right? There's, that a huge part of healing is getting shit out of your body, talking it out. Not surprisingly, I got super sick being here. My ears were plugged, and I lost my voice completely about 3 weeks ago. And I believe it's because of this. Louise Hay is up in heaven talking to me right now, telling me, girl, stop listening to everybody else. That's why my ears have been plugged, is I think it's about stop listening to the naysayers, stop being scared, stop not putting yourself out there. And then my voice being gone was, I have something to fucking say. I have something to say. You may hate this. And that's okay. Again, please move on. But my knowing, having done this for almost 11 years, oh, fun. June is my 11-year anniversary, is that if this helps one person, then my job is done. That's it. I don't need a fucking bestseller. It's very funny. I don't give a fuck. Actually, I don't need a bestseller. I do not. I have zero interest in hustling and striving to get to that. I put content out into the world as a love note. That's it. That's all I do. I hope that it helps one person, and that one person's going to send me an email and it's going to make my day. In fact, one of my best clients ever, her name's Jessica, sent me the nicest email, of course, while I was at my retreat, of just, these are all the lessons I've learned from you, and thank you so much. And I just thought, that's it. Like, that's why I'm doing this. So I pay to do this, by the way. Like, this is not free. I pay to put this out into the world. I am not big enough to get sponsors. So I am literally paying to put out my point of view into the world in hopes that it helps one person, but it also helps me. And I want you to hear that, if that's what you need to hear, is that we all need a creative outlet. We've got to get stuff out of our bodies. And so I have been hiding, and I want to now switch gears and talk about that a little bit, is that this reptilian brain response that we have all been in. And if you have not been in it, like, I want whatever you're smoking or ingesting or whatever, because that is unbelievable to me. People are like, oh, it's been like the best year of my life. I'm like, you're either lying or I want whatever drugs you're on. Because that is just insane. All of us have brains, and we have a prefrontal cortex, which is our rational brain, which when we're rational is really, really helpful. But a lot of people, me included, have not been super rational over the last 2 years. We have been in a reptilian brain response, which is our brain stem. Our brain stem is, we're animals, basically. Our prefrontal cortex is the only thing that separates us from animals. We have reasoning. They have a reptilian brain response, and we are just like them in that way. So our brain stem, and this is like grade school. We know what this is. When we are overwhelmed, stressed out, are at our wits' end, our back is up against a wall. Think of an animal in the wild when they are cornered. We all know that feeling, right? We know that feeling. Oh, I mean, Jesus criminy, I've been in it hard. We've all been in it. Our back is up against a wall, like this entrepreneurial trauma response. Back is up against a wall. The brain stem comes out like an animal in the wild, and we do two things. We fight or we flee, and technically freeze as well. Fight or flee. And that's actually a true point too. A lot of people are freezing, meaning they are just numbing out like crazy. Do you guys know that you watching like old movies, or I have a couple friends that watch like old episodes of Friends, that is a trauma response. That is straight up a trauma response. It's freezing. It's freezing. You're just frozen. Those days where all you can do is numb out, or you're drinking too much, or you're smoking too much weed, or you're watching too much TV, or eating too much, or all three, or you're watching TikToks for hours on end, you are freezing. You are freezing. That is a trauma response. A reptilian brain response. Okay. So extroverts, me, I have been fleeing. I have been hiding. I have been not participating. And that is my entrepreneurial trauma response and or my reptilian brain response. And I could have faked it, which I did for about a year. And then I just said, I can't do this anymore. I got to go heal. Whew, that's making me cry. I had to go heal. So I just stopped. And again, I'm so grateful that I had my therapy license and my therapy expertise to fall back on, because I just hid. I've been hiding for 8 months. I have not put out a piece of content in 8 months because I have been having this reptilian brain response for this entire time. And in this healing of being here on Maui and doing everything that I've done, having that breakdown last week and now having the breakthrough, is I'm ready to reemerge. Super fucking real, super authentic, hopefully transparent, hopefully helpful, in a way that is not fake, that is not hiding, that is not fighting, because that's the other response. As extroverts flee, introverts fight. You may see people on social media like literally fighting. That is a reptilian brain response. I have somebody in my life that this very introverted, and man, when this person gets triggered, they come out fighting, like ugly, mean, nasty, aggressive, assertive, says the meanest things. It is unbelievable. And so our interaction, this person and I, mine is to run away, right? I run away. I'm not going to fucking do this. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to participate in this. And this other person is screaming and yelling and fighting and sending nasty grams and nasty emails. And you're the worst person ever. And that's their trauma response. And so I hope that this part of this helps you see yourself. Of what version are you in? Are you fighting? Are you fleeing? Are you freezing? And how can we best get out of this? How can we best get out of this mess? So that brings me to why I'm back. So as I said before, part of it is because the book is in process. As I went away and I thought, okay, this is my creativity. This is my point of view. This is something I need to do. If one person listens to this, I'll be satisfied. I am going to share as I go. I am committed to sharing the mess, my personal mess, what has happened to me over the last year or 8 months or 2 months being on this island. For those of you who may think that it's been all paradise, I have some stories for you in the coming weeks. It has not. It has not. It has brought up every God-forsaken issue I have. Yes, even therapists have problems and issues, unresolved issues. And it has triggered all of them. And I am happily on the other side of that and doing things different. But it's a lot of what Healing the Hustle is about, which is stopping the outside influence, which is weird as you're listening to a podcast, and going inward and listening to our own intuition. Just like when I sold my house, I also didn't ask anybody about moving to Maui. I made a decision. I listened to my intuition. It wouldn't go away. It kept pinging me. It's like, it's time. Quite honestly, it was probably time when I sold my house, but I wasn't really ready to do that. So I, paused for about 10 months and then was just like, this is my intuition. So that's what I want to work with you guys on, is the whole Healing the Hustle is about a bucket analogy, that we all have a hole in the bottom of our bucket that is trauma. It's our family of origin. It's our past hurts. It's our past relationships. It's all the things that have caused us to be broken and hurt and damaged. And we all are in a way. And what we do as humans is we go outside of ourselves. We go seek water. We seek validation. We seek something outside of us to make us whole. So think about filling up a bucket with a hole in the bottom. Some people have a pinprick, meaning they've done a lot of work. They've done their work. They go to therapy. They have worked on themselves, and it's just a little pinprick. Some people, the hole is the size of a dime. Others, a quarter. Others, they have no bottom in their bucket. So they go to fill this bucket, and the water just runs right out. And it's never ending. So it's never ending. So imagine if you have no bottom in the bottom of your bucket and you are seeking validation from other people. You are seeking it from alcohol, drugs, shopping, sex, dating, shopping. Did I say that one? There's so many things that we get outside of ourselves. Over busying. Hello, who are my over busiers? All of this shit outside of TikTok is a fucking trauma response, man. I mean, that shit it's like, this is what we seek. Things outside of ourselves. But the problem is, it is never going to fill us up because we're not attending to the right thing. What we need to attend to is the hole in the bottom of our bucket. It's not fucking outside of ourselves. It is not something else. It is ourselves. It is an inside job. It is going inward. It is listening to podcasts like this that heal you. It is listening to excellent books or reading excellent books. It is about taking solo trips. It is about listening to your own intuition, shutting out the world at certain times, ending relationships that no longer serve you. I've got a million different things for you as you go along, but I wanted to end this with you guys understanding it is not about that. It is about fixing or repairing the hole in the bottom of our bucket. It's never, ever going to be fully gone. Ever. But we have to fix that part. No amount of drinks, no amount of Tinder notifications, no amount of likes on social media, no amount of comments, no amount of attention, no amount of alcohol or drugs or shopping is going to fucking fill you up until you repair the hole in the bottom of your bucket. And then it's even not about the stuff outside, it's about inside. So let me end this episode by saying my very first coach, I love her dearly to date, Fabienne Fredrickson, shout out to you, shares this amazing story about sharing her brownies. And I remembered this when I was gone this weekend and really thinking about this podcast and what I wanted to say and what's next for me. And I realized that I have not been sharing my brownies. And so the idea is I'm cooking up these brownies, right? I've been doing this. I've been cooking up brownies in my corner. I've been writing in my corner, in my kitchen, even though I don't bake or cook, but whatever. I'm in my kitchen baking up some brownies. And brownies smell freaking delicious, by the way. Absolutely no nuts in my brownies. Are you a nut person or not? We can't be friends if you like nuts in your brownies. It's disgusting. No nuts in my brownies. But the top is that perfectly like crunchy. The edges, oh my God, they're so good. The edges are so crispy and then ooey gooey in the middle, right? They smell amazing. I've been cooking that up with my book. The content is fucking fantastic. I'm just going to toot my own horn. It's great. But nobody knows about it because I've been in this fucking entrepreneurial trauma response and I have not been putting out any content. So this podcast series is twofold. One, I'm sharing my brownies. I am coming out of the kitchen. I'm sharing them. If you want nuts, tough shit, I'm not giving you nuts. I'm giving you ooey gooey delicious brownies. I hope you love them. And I am going to be unapologetically who I am. And I want you to be unapologetically who you are, meaning this is going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be vulnerable and raw, and maybe the brownies aren't fully cooked. Maybe there's eggshells in them. Maybe I cooked them wrong, but I am doing this to share my brownies because I believe this content is needed more than ever before. And I don't know how else to get it out there because I also cannot get this fucking book done. And so I am going to share this and have someone transcribe it and get it out into the book form. So this is also very self-serving, and it's about you guys and it's about me. The beauty of being, I think, very transparent and being a great therapist and sharing these things is that I get to heal as hopefully this heals you. And I'll be honest, if it doesn't heal more than one person and me, if it's just, my friend Jessica and me, then so be it. So be it. So this is what you're in store for. Some honesty, some swears. I might cry during the episode. I do hope that you will share this with others because I believe that we need more vulnerability. We need more transparency. We need to be talking about this trauma response. We need to be talking about what's been going on in the world. And it's not super popular because we live in a world of everything outside of ourselves. That's, social media and TikTok and people filming 5 seconds of their life to make a TikTok. I can't do it. I choose not to. I choose this platform. I choose a book platform. I choose a podcast platform. I'm going to do my best to fucking summarize 43 minutes in a 1-minute video on TikTok, but we'll see how it goes. But I will say I am not going to go around filming 5 seconds of my life for my whole life to make a TikTok. I'm just not going to do it. Lots of people have told me that will help. And I'm like, I'm choosing to do it my way. So what's your way? Maybe you like filming 5 seconds of your life. And this is the worst idea ever. Okay. Next week, we're going to talk about self-soothing. We're going to talk about some expectations. We're going to talk about solo trips. And then we're going to jump into a whole bunch of content from the book. And I cannot wait to share this with you. I hope this has been helpful. Please go give me some feedback on iTunes. Reviews are always super helpful. If you share this on Instagram, on Insta stories, please tag me so that I can reshare it. And let's get this message out. All right, loves. I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening. My guess is if you made it all the way to the end of this episode, then this content is resonating with you. If you want to dig in deeper, have one-on-one coaching with me and learn more and do lots and lots of awesome exercises, I am opening up summer school. So we are opening up right away. As of now, you can go sign up at jessicabutts.com. Go find summer school under the Healing the Hustle tab. And we are going to have an incredible summer together. It is a private group, a very, very small group, very tiny group because I don't have a lot of availability, but it's going to be a small, intimate group. We are going to be off of Facebook into Mighty Networks. It is 8 weeks of group coaching. It's going to be new content, live calls, accountability, connection, no cheerleading, no bullshit, inspiration, real content, and weekly tasks to help you heal your hustle. In addition, there's 3 private 50-minute sessions with me. And the reason that I do this is because in our private sessions, we get to take the group content and make it so much more applicable so that we're not wasting time in our one-on-one sessions. You get to hear the content and then we get to dig in deep, do a real deep dive therapy session into your traumas, your family of origin, the things that are important to you to help you heal your hustle. It's real women, real connections, no bullshit, just genuine, authentic engagement and education with me. So go pop over into jessicabutts.com. You can sign up now. We start the week of July 11th and we will be going until the end of August. It will be a summer of transformation. It will be a summer of connection. It will be a summer of crying like I am already doing, and it will be life transformative for you. I can't wait to see you there. I can't wait to play with you, and I will see you on the inside.